Welcome to Hack and Slash, a D&D 2E podcast, where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition, our favorite version of D&D.
It appears kind of in the 90s, and we still play and still love it. We don't know why, but it's the best one.
Yeah, we're very nostalgic for this era, so we talk about all things related to it. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah, much fun.
I've got a Dungeon Master's Guide. I've got a 12-sided die. I've got Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler, too. Waiting there for me. Yes, I do. I do. And that is from In the Garage by Weezer.
Nice. I didn't know that. That's funny.
It's on our playlist. It's on our playlist.
Already? Okay, you see how good I know our playlist. Hello, welcome to Hack and Slash. It's our 3rd episode. Welcome.
Welcome, Hack and Slash AD&D podcast. AD&D 2E podcast.
Oh, you don't know
I
our name.
have special.
Oh,
look what I brought.
Yes, you show me now a little figure. It's a Nightcrawler, and he has a big story in our friendship.
Yeah.
Cheers, dude.
See ya, yeah. Woo, cheers.
It's our first beer, so we will not drink too much today, I think. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
No, not trigger
Dude, I got this Nightcrawler because the lyrics to that Weezer song, they're about like the love of D&D and X-Men, you know? And together, and then Nightcrawler is in there in the lyrics, and the Nightcrawler figure that I have here is old school figure. And when I first moved in with you, I had this Nightcrawler figure that I brought with me to Germany. I came to Germany with nothing but a backpack, and Nightcrawler's like my little good luck charm trinket kind of thing, you know? He was my little friend, and
I had a cleaning moment.
Yeah, and I put him on your door because you had Colossus. You had the Colossus figure on your door, and then I added Nightcrawler to your door. Yeah,
I'm so I have the feeling of a technic thing again. I have the feeling of I'm being so flat.
What? So you had there's Nightcrawler on the door and Colossus on the door because I thought they're friends in the comics. So but then you cleaned.
I don't know what's going on in my mind in this moment. You know, it was
you got rid of all your shit and you just were kind of cleaning house.
Yeah,
and then you got rid of the Nightcrawler.
Yeah, like kind of accidentally. So and then one day come and Jake realized like the Nightcrawler is missing, and I said, oh no, I think I put it in the trash. Fuck, I know I put it in the trash because I thought it's just like a toy, what we don't need anymore, blah blah. Yeah, so it was really bad, and I felt really bad, and so I got you a new one, kind of.
Yeah,
like
you got me a new one. It was the same one, but you were so nice. You ordered it, and you ordered it online, and now I brought it here. Because for our podcast.
It has a story. We make a picture of it and put it on Instagram for sure. By the way, Instagram podcast not working so well for us right now. I mean, Instagram okay. Well, but people, what's on? Come on, give us money on Patreon. Now, just follow us.
Well, that's two different things. Patreon and Instagram. You can't give somebody money with Instagram, or can you? I don't even know how it works.
I don't know. I could ask you about your PayPal. No, I mean, of course, it's Patreon where they can give us money.
Patreon.
So it would be cool. So then we can create more stickers or even buttons or whatever. So maybe some t-shirts once, blah, blah, blah. So we would come up with some cool things for you, and also like having FAQ, yeah, like
a fuck. We'll have a good fuck with
you guys. Nice. Yeah.
Give us money and we'll have fuck.
And yeah, follow us on Instagram, and please comment in the comment section from YouTube, because again, it's good for the algorithm, and so on and so on. But guys, thank you a lot for listening to us. It's again like, I don't know, 450 viewers for the first one.
It was jack shit, but
it's nice. I love it.
Yeah, thanks for the people that are listening.
Yeah, and thanks special again to Caro and Felix, and also this time for Sven. He's an old friend, and I met him here in Berlin. He introduced me to like miniature war game and blah blah blah. So he's a really good friend and give us a really cool shout out to the last episode, the top 10 monster strip monster thing, and he really loved it. And so thanks, Sven. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say in the beginning.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Sven, Felix, Caro, and also Michael and Roy.
Roy again, for
yeah,
sure.
You guys,
sure.
Thank you so much for all the
help.
attention and work and just enjoying our stupid ass little fucking podcast we got going on here about a really niche motherfucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
AD&D second. I still never got an answer. I put it out there on the interwebs, but I don't know how many people are playing this game. On Facebook, there's a AD&D 2E group with like 6,100 members, I think. Okay. So I guessed about
if
what I
say.
I
said play that,
they'll play it. Yeah,
I don't know. You don't know. So yeah, but also like on the YouTube and so on, there are so many people who talk about the second edition, but not just about like we do. So yeah. I don't know. I really want to know also.
It's like a special episode about in a role playing podcast or something. Yeah,
for sure. I got a question from a coworker last day about like, is there any else D&D related podcast in the world? I said, yeah, so much,
None.
Many. But yeah, we are the only one. We are.
Yeah, you should listen to ours.
We found it. We found this one niche, and that's so cool. Now.
Yeah, it's a good idea, man. D&D podcast.
And no one makes podcasts these days. So we are the first podcast in the world. Blah blah. No, come on. There were so many, but second edition related, I think we are the only one. I know. I don't know.
Yeah, because nobody fucking plays second edition.
Yeah. Shame to them. Shame to them. One little thing I wanted to. Okay.
You got it. If you haven't tried it, homie, you gotta try that sweet 2E.
Yeah, and the first one is for free.
We'll play with you. Fly to Berlin.
Yeah.
And be a guest player at our session.
Or if you are living in Berlin or Germany, just give us a shout out and we connect you and you can play as a guest player.
Maybe. But you have to promise not to murder us in real life.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of stipulation I have for a guest player at my table.
Yeah, and if you want to pee, please sit down.
What? God damn you and your Sitzpinkeln, dude. It's so... I lived with this guy for fucking years, and he's like, you have to pee sitting down.
You are
live with me, dude.
Okay.
It's a German thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
The world needs to know.
We are already in 10 minutes, dude. We don't have time. We don't have the time, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I want
What
to
are we talking about today?
Yeah, wait. I have one other thing I wanted to bring out shortly from the last episode. I talk about this homophobia thing.
Oh, yeah, talk about that.
And I thought it could be that the people misunderstood me. Of course, I hate homophobia, but I just wanted to explain that homophobia is not a real thing because you can have a phobia against spiders.
Yeah, but why? Let's back up to why you're explaining this, because on our last episode, we played a drinking game and we got pretty drunk by the end of it. And at the end, you were like, homophobia is not real. It was like a little bit of a side comment, and it sounded like maybe a little bit of a homophobic comment, but it wasn't, because you were trying to explain what you were explaining now.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, there's like the spider phobia and other phobias, but to hate homo people, it's not a phobia, it's just hatred. So it's nothing to do with phobia. That's the thing what I wanted to say. Of course, there are assholes who hate homo guys, and we hate people who hate homo guys. That's what I wanted to say.
And basically, like, it's a stupid word is what you meant, because like there's the word racist, there's the word sexist, and that means like somebody who hates someone because of their race, or somebody who hates someone because of their sex. But the word homophobia means like to fear someone for their sexuality, which doesn't kind of match up to the rest of the words, and it's kind of stupid because like it kind of doesn't do justice to the actual hatred, the horrible shit that homophobia is, you know?
Right. And that's what I wanted to say. Sometimes my English is not too well, then I got... I don't find the words I wanted to say, so and blah, blah, blah. So that's why I explain that now again, or we explain it now again. And yeah, that's the point.
Disclaimer. Flo is not homophobic.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to bring
Just doesn't agree with the word homophobia because semantically it doesn't make any goddamn sense. That's all.
Right. So, and that's it. So, now we can come
What are we talking about today in terms of D&D?
Yeah, what were you talking about?
Fuck, I forgot, dude.
Yeah, wait, I have a look on my list. It's about. Is it about Elminster? Is it about comics? Is it about TV shows? Is it about music?
All that shit, dude. This is D&D and other media.
Yeah.
D&D and other media.
Yeah, and we had a big list here, and we just start and talk about things, and I don't think we come to an end. So we will see.
It's a broad topic.
It's a broad topic. Yeah, that's right. So, and I think we start with books, and we'll see. Maybe we come to comics.
Yeah, we also because of the wide range of this topic, D&D and other media, particularly also second edition, and to the theme of our podcast, 90s nostalgia shit. What is happening with D&D in that 90s and the era of second edition? Like, it's still huge. So we kind of decided we're just going to talk about like what we were influenced by in other media. So maybe there's other things. Like one thing that I was discussing with my wife was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I kind of had that on my list, but she's like, dude, did you ever watch that show? And I was like, yeah, I mean, not really. And she's like, did Flo ever watch him? Like, I don't know. And she's like,
a little bit.
You know, if you probably shouldn't talk about stuff, why don't you just stick to stuff that's like, you know, that you watched. I'm like, yeah, good point, dude. I don't know what I'd say about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, dude. I think it's it's a D&D influenced kind of show.
What is not D&D influenced, or what is not Lord of the Rings influenced? That's a good question, I think.
What is not?
What is not in fantasy world, you know, like, or in sci-fi, kind of. So many things are related to D&D. But
I think that TV show Law and Order probably not.
No, for sure there's something. There's for sure something inside of Law and Order also.
Yeah, there's a lot like I don't know.
Maybe they have the rule Thaku also anywhere there in the law books. Whatever. We talk about other medias, and I was like, to be honest, like, what are we going to talk about there today? I was not so sure, but then we got this list, and
there's so much shit, homie.
There's so much shit, and right now I watch like Futurama again, and I'm being stuck right now in the second and the third season, and there were so many funny Easter eggs through D&D. We are surrounded by pictures of Futurama I printed out today.
Yeah, adorning our space today for the podcast flow. Printed out these pictures from Futurama. What are these Polaroids, dude? What the fuck is this paper? It's glossy photo paper.
It's photo paper. Yeah, it's
glossy photo paper. It looks like Polaroid pictures of the D&D monsters in Futurama, man. You got the Rust monster here. There's a waiting room scene.
Yeah, and the waiting room scene with the Rust monster was there on one episode in the second season. There is this Beholder. And then there was also the professor from Futurama as the dungeon master. Super fun. And there's also Gary Gygax, the creator or one of the creators of D&D. So
he's like the creator, dude. He's like the god.
Yeah, next to, what was the other one? Dave, blah, blah, blah. Was it Dave? I don't know.
I don't know. I think if he's listening to the podcast, he'll be very insulted, Flo. We can't say Dave, blah, blah, blah.
I hope.
Dave Cook, was it, or something?
I don't know, but Cook?
We didn't Cook? No, Cook. He's David Cook, dude.
But
we don't do our homework at all for this.
Something with A. I did, but I forgot already in my brain. But they are both dead. That's what I know.
They're dead.
They're dead. So fuck it.
we can be very insulting then.
Yeah, lovely greets to Gary Gygax. So
and also
and
Dave.
The other one, Dave A something D and A, I think.
We'll
DNA.
Get back to that later.
Yeah, maybe other.
I don't know.
Other things. So, but today
he wasn't in Futurama, so
yeah,
only Gary was. So
only Gary was, because Gary is most important for everybody.
He was in a couple. Wasn't he in a couple episodes?
I don't know.
There's this team of super nerds, and it was like Gary Gygax and Al Gore, and I forget who else. Was it Stephen Hawking?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, they were this team of super nerds, dude.
And this one black girl from Star Trek. Uhura, or what was her name?
Deanna Troi.
I don't know the actor's name, but the role she plays. I
have a confession to make, Flo.
I'm not a Star Trekkie. I'm not a Trekkie.
That was my confession. Yeah, you
sorry.
beat me to it. You're not either?
No,
we're like medieval fantasy nerds.
I'm not a Star Wars man. I'm not a Trekkie. I both like the universe kind of, and I watched like movies and some episodes, and also like Star Wars, but I was never so into it. I want to.
Yeah.
Kind of, because I think, yeah, cool, give it a try. But I'm more like a medieval guy. I mean, I play Warhammer 40k. I love this.
That's very spacey.
It's spacey, but there's also fantasy in space. So, because there are...
Well, dude, Star Wars is fantasy in space. That's a big...
Oh, first burp.
First burp. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, for sure it is. But
that's a fucking criticism a lot of people have about it. From what I understand, they're like, it's a fantasy genre, Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's why I love Star Wars, kind of. But I'm not a Star Wars, and I'm not a Trekkie guy. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would like Star Trek. I never gave it a shot.
I
got a question for you as we're launching into this topic, which I guess we're officially into it. But I got a question for you, homie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He did his homework, I think.
Well, I just try and prepare a cohesive narrative because this podcast could get all over the goddamn place. Let's face it.
That's true.
And it will. It is already.
It is already. We are already 17 minutes, but whatever. So
I have a question for you.
Okay, I listen.
What is your favorite D&D related thing in other media? Like not just which media, but like if you could pick one TV show, one book, one movie. What is it? What's your favorite?
Of course, you know the answer, I think. So
Warhammer?
No. You ask like, what is my favorite book or what is my favorite TV show or my favorite game or whatever.
Yeah.
So of course it is because that's the first thing what I got after playing D&D and got in other media was like books. And it was the Drizzt Do'Urden stories. Mm-hmm. So and that's my favorite still. And I read it. Actually, these days I read the Drizzt Do'Urden stories again.
Okay.
The second time in my life just. So I started to reading them when I was 16, I think. And I loved them. I fell in love with all the story Drizzt Do'Urden, this drow elf who lived in this Underdark with this evil family and the evil society around him, and he is just a good guy.
How do you say that?
Menzoberranzan?
Menzoberranzan, okay.
Menzoberranzan, I don't know.
That's a city name.
I love this. There was this...
it's almost a German-sounding word and how long and complicated it is to say.
Menzoberranzan. So, spoiler alert, if you didn't read the books, please read it. It's really, really cool to read that. I read them right now again. I'm right now in the second book of the German translated books, and I love these Drizzt Do'Urden stories. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay,
so
cool, man. Yeah,
that's my favorite. What's yours?
Okay, we either answer your question or I speak a little bit about Drizzt Do'Urden. Right
okay,
now.
Let's talk about Drizzt Do'Urden. Fuck you.
Yeah, dude, I will tell you my thing. But Drizzt Do'Urden, dude, he's like on the topic. Like he's that is some good D&D and other media. The thing is, he is then this original character, the creation of R.A. Salvatore.
He's also of the book.
Or is it pronounced Salvatore? I don't know.
Salvatore.
R.A. Salvatore. I've only ever seen it written down. But he like invented this character and these novels and I will speak a little bit later about my love of all the novels that were created around the worlds, but it's Forgotten Realms, right?
Right.
Where so they're trying to promote like these campaign worlds they made for the D&D game, and they hired these authors to write these novels, and this dude invented Drizzt Do'Urden, and now Drizzt is in like all these other things. He's in video games, and he's kind of like this known in comics and
whatever. Yeah,
I played Dark Alliance recently. You know, that's the latest. Before Baldur's Gate 3, which that's a whole other fucking topic, dude. Dark Alliance came out like a year or two ago, and I played the shit out of it. Loved it.
Is it on PlayStation also?
Yeah, PlayStation, okay. And you play as Drizzt and his friends, the team Caddy Bree, and
I got Drizzt Do'Urden in my campaign stories also, like as an NPC ones. So it's so much fun.
Oh, and you know, I added him in my campaign with the Drizzt robot android. I got a little sci-fi in my campaign, so nice, I made the Drizzt android replicant.
So to the people who don't know Drizzt, just Google him or just read the books. Really, I really would recommend the books to you guys, to all of you. And Drizzt Do'Urden is like this drow elf in the Underdark, and he comes up to the to the surface and being then a ranger, and he's one of the best fighters in the whole universe of D&D, I think.
And that's an interesting thing. Did you know? So me and you watched the D&D movie that just came out together, and kind of geek-gasmed all over each other's faces when we saw it because it was fucking awesome. And we were like, "Oh, dude, it's so cool!" And then we just both read the shit out of articles, I'm sure, on our phones for the following weeks. I did. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see the one?
I sent it so many articles to you.
Put them. You flood our fucking chat groups.
Just
you flood
spam,
them with
spam
fucking
alarm,
Jesus
alarm.
Christ, dude. I lose track. But did you read the one that said that the paladin character?
I sent that to you.
Oh, you sent that to me?
Yeah, that's from me.
Oh.
So yeah, the paladin character is kind of like Drizzt Do'Urden in the movie. So it's a hero, it's an overpowered hero.
He's an OPD and NPC.
Also the name of the character, I don't know, I forgot the name, but it's also something with double Z inside, I think.
Okay.
So and that's why people...
Z being Z.
Yeah, so it was like Drizzt also. Z be Z?
Z. Because
Z.
Clarify for our two American listeners.
Is that the German word today?
No. No. Is it? It could be.
Z.
Z is Z.
Z.
In German.
Zebra. Zebra.
You sent us that article. Okay, I learned that from you.
Yeah, you learned that from me.
I thought I was going to have you learn that from me just now, but I just got fucked.
Yeah. Haha. End of episode. Jake got fucked.
End of episode. Mic drop. Sit, bitches.
Mic drop, yeah. Yeah, Drittsturden. I love him. I love all the story. Like in German, it's 6 books, which are in the Underdark. In the 6th book, he comes. Spoiler alert again. If you didn't read the books and you want to read them, don't listen here anymore. Switch to a minute, I don't know, after we talk about these books. So in the 6 books, he comes to the surface, and then there comes so many other books, like I don't know, 12 others or maybe more in German, where it's just in the Forgotten Realms on under the sun. So, and there he has all his good friends like Wulfgar, and I don't know all the names. Bruno is a dwarf.
And Catti-brie.
Catti-brie,
Swing. There's some 90s boner slang for you.
And his main evil dude.
There's like
Artemis or so. It's a good.
Jarlaxle.
It's a crazy.
There's a lot of crazy fucking characters in this shit, bitches. You got to check the shit out.
Gunvivar, the panther, in the statue. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so I love these Drittsturden. I could talk about him so many hours and just read the stories again and again. And there was comic books. I don't like the comic books so much, but just because of the art, I didn't like the art so much because it's just like computer art.
You're really picky with your art and comics, dude. I love that. Like
you're
an artist yourself, so you get critical with that shit.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I'm really an artist, but
You're a goddamn artist, Flo.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said so.
Okay, when you say that, you are an artist too, so you can say that.
Do you paint minis every single day?
Nah, not every single day.
Just like 6 out of 7 days a week.
5 days.
That's art, homie. You're an artist.
And if I don't paint minis, then I paint on paper or I write things. So I do. Every day I make art things for sure.
Yeah,
I work with pictures. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's true.
I think mini painting is like a legit art form, dude. I don't know, like
for sure.
It's like
no question.
Should be right up there. Yeah. Should be on Museum Island. In the fucking.
But to say you are an artist for me is always like, yeah, I don't know. You create things by your own and blah blah. I don't know what an artist is, but
what is an artist? That is the nature of our podcast. Welcome, folks. We're here to discuss the intellectual ramifications of being an artist. What is an artist? The philosophy of the term.
New future, a new feature of our podcast. We talk about art. Yeah, my wife said also I'm an artist. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care.
Do you not think you are?
I think I love art.
And you do create art and practice the craft of arting.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I love art. Whatever.
You do the art.
Not so important. So, and there is like... What,
You're a goddamn artist.
Okay, I'm an artist. Sorry. Is that red? No, it's not red. It's not spiked out. Okay. Cool. Okay, worked.
Audio under control this time.
Oh, wow.
I'm even speaking my Satan voice.
I love your Satan voice.
I love it too.
So where we are?
Dude, I wanted to seg into my love of the books because Drittsturden is like one of many books. But before I get started talking about books, dude, I wanted to kind of make this like little... maybe a hypothesis of sorts with the D&D and other media.
Is it the narrative you talked about?
Yeah,
before?
this is the cohesive narrative I'm speaking about. Although once again,
really
22
excited.
Minutes in,
25 already. But where's the intro?
I want to ask you: do you think D&D is like serious or silly?
Both.
Yeah, it's both, right? So, like, I think that
it can be both, you know.
My thesis is, my hypothesis, I think D&D got more silly over time.
Yeah,
and I think it's because, like as the game kind of went on, like these other things and other media got a little more silly.
Yeah.
And especially in the 90s. I think the 90s was like this turning point for D&D and fantasy and media where. There's basically there's a meme right now not in the 90s but because there were no memes but like it says what we think our D&D party is, and it shows like the Lord of the Rings guys, it shows the Fellowship of the Ring there.
Yeah.
It's like serious, because Tolkien kind of pioneering the genre made this very
no
serious
fun.
work.
It's really, it's really,
like Lord of the Rings is like very...
It's dramatic.
Drama. But then that second part of the meme, it says, what our D&D party is. And it shows the Monty Python crew from the Holy Grail.
Nice.
And that's like silly ass shit,
Totally, yeah.
And
it's also like from the 80s, 90s, Monty Python.
Is that 70s?
70s also.
I think
Yeah,
70s.
it's 70s.
Oh, no.
Maybe, 70s, 80s.
Maybe we're completely wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, the Night of the Coconut. I don't know.
Yeah, the coconut thing. And,
it's so.
When D&D the game came out, though, like it was pretty serious,
Yeah.
And then in the 80s,
and then with this Satanic Panic, and so it has so many trouble and so many so many drama around, and so much also like negative emotions.
Yeah, a lot of people like getting pissed, like they're like, oh, our kids are worshiping Satan because of this game, and then like Satanic Panic bullshit.
Yeah.
But then the company TSR, they were like, we kind of need to spin this in a more funny direction, so they made the cartoon in the 80s. That's when D&D and other media.
And
it was kind of more
so
light and
silly.
fun
It's so
and
silly.
ridiculous and like
and more for kids.
But then the movies in the 80s kind of continued to be serious. So you have movies like Excalibur, which is the King Arthur one,
The Maze with Tom Hanks.
That's a whole other thing. The Maze and Monsters. That was
Monsters.
That was the Satanic Panic poster child movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks running around
and getting totally insane.
The idea that
schizophrene.
D&D will make you kill your friends.
It's the same when you take LSD or mushrooms. You're getting insane.
That's a whole other thing. That was a movie that's supposed to be serious, but is a cult classic, dude.
Totally.
It's like the reefer madness of the D&D,
But, Excalibur, but then there came Conan.
But there was also Conan. No, Conan was also serious. It was a serious movie. Like,
was it?
Yeah, it was intended to be serious. Yeah. I don't think when we watch it now we're like,
because
Arnold's
it's so trashy
funny.
and so funny.
It's trash, but they intended it as serious, dude.
Okay.
And that was kind of on my so you look at those 80s movies, but then the 90s when Second Edition was out, that's when you started to have this. I feel like stuff like Army of Darkness came out.
You
had Xena, Warrior Princess, and Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, which I loved that show so much.
Me
Watched
too.
The shit out of them.
In Germany, always on Saturday morning, the show comes after like the cartoons of Spider-Man and X-Men. Blah, blah.
Oh yeah.
So I woke up every Saturday at 6 o'clock in the morning and switch on the TV and watch all these shows till midday. It was so cool.
That's funny.
So and also Hercules and Xena,
So Hercules and Xena was part of your Saturday morning cartoons regimen.
Yeah, kind of.
In Germany.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
It was then more like in the midday.
Yeah.
So, but in the beginning was like Spider-Man, X-Men, Turtles, blah, blah, blah. And then there came Xena and Hercules. So, and I loved it to hang just around on Saturdays and watch TV.
I don't know if they had that for us in the U.S. because I never hung on that long with Saturday morning cartoons. But when they were on the program, kids, back in the 90s, you had to watch TV when the fucking show was on. And if you didn't, you missed it.
Yes.
Or you had to record it with a analog videotape. It was a different world. It was crazy
YouTube,
shit.
no nothing.
You had to plan this shit. You had to be like, okay,
Internet. What is internet?
Fucking 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Ninja Turtles on.
Oh, it was
gonna watch it.
Amazing. It was amazing. It was so much fun. And
yeah.
Also, when
you had
when you had friends to sleep over, it was so cool. And then wake up together and watch this show. And yeah, it was so cool.
But this is my Xena and Hercules time was late Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Which was kind of my lazy time. So it was kind of funny. I used to watch it at it was like on at 4 or 5 o'clock, I think. And then I would fall asleep sometimes afterwards. I take my little Sunday snooze before our family dinner.
Can be that I mix it up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that also on Saturdays they came Xena and Hercules, but they also put out the shows during the week. In the afternoons, also when you have Feierabend, kind of. So then also these
explain Feierabend to
Feierabend
the viewers.
After the work, after you finish work, you have Feierabend.
It's like your after work drink with your friends.
Yes. So so we call it Feierabend.
One of my favorite German words.
Again, a German word.
Feierabend. I love
really
Feierabend.
Important.
Yeah.
And which movies or movie series came now into my mind? It's not really related to D&D, but still. It was like in the same era, Jurassic Park. I don't
That's
know.
nothing to do with D&D.
No, but I was like...
I mean, it could be, you have a dinosaur campaign, but anything could be D&D if you...
It's true, yeah, but I wasn't the same age when I started D&D and loved Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, and I put dinosaurs into D&D games as a DM, so I loved it, so I mixed it up. So put one hobby into the other hobby and
that's a fun thing about me. I mean, that's a fun thing about D&D, dude, is like you can just, it's whatever you want it to be. Like you if you watch a movie, if you want a Law and Order campaign, you're like a campaign based off the TV show Law and Order.
Yeah.
You can fucking do it.
Yeah, or you want a plague campaign, you can make a plague campaign around a plague, going on. Or if you want a silly campaign, you can make a silly campaign. Or you want a serious campaign, you can make a serious.
That's what I think happened is like a lot of people started making, like because of the nature of gaming and tabletop gaming and the sociability of it, I think it kind of lends itself to more of a fun, silly time that you're having with your friends. Yeah. And so I think that the when Gary Gygax made the game, it was based off of Chainmail, which was like this old mini war game that was based off like the English Civil War, I guess.
Yeah,
there's Cavaliers and Roundheads.
There's Napoleon games and blah blah blah.
Yeah, all that old school shit, and it was pretty serious. It was like wargaming shit.
And but his friend today, I read about his friend David blah blah blah, which name we forget.
He was very disrespectful.
I'm so sorry. Maybe next time I come up with a real name.
We'll figure it out.
Or people just tell me the name of this other guy. He was like invited after Gary Gygax with his war game. Hey, what if the minis go into like a castle?
Yeah.
And then the minis got more hit points, and then they get abilities.
They individualized it.
Yeah.
Individuals instead of an army.
And then more story behind the individual minis. So, and that's how kind of D&D got involved.
Yeah, and I'm sure those fuckers got pretty silly with it too. Yeah. But I think that generally as they were selling their game, I think people started to get more silly with their games, and they're like, it's no longer the English Civil War recreation shit. And by like the end of the 80s when AD&D 2E came out, it was like, it was fun and it was silly, and then that kind of got reflected in in pop culture, like when Army of Darkness, dude. I mean, that is the most D&D ass shit, but it's fucking ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And I love it so much, man. But like, and then it
one
culminated.
One of my favorite movies still. So
yeah, same here, dude.
Yeah.
And it culminated though then in this D&D movie that just came out was also pretty silly.
Totally.
And some people said they thought that it was like, that I've talked to, it's like, oh, it was a little sillier than I thought. But it's like, dude, it really captures the essence of what happens at the tabletop gaming table.
I see it the same way than you, for sure. And I had also this conversation with friends and others who said, it's too silly to me, it's too much ha ha ha. I say, no, it's
a lot of our mutual friends.
It was perfect, like it's so round, this movie. But I also had this thought now in my mind, like, I think next to the silliness in these days comes back also like the serious thing because of this PC shit thing, that everything has to be PC, you have to think about what you're talking, then there's this X card, you can show the X card.
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't get me started on the goddamn X card.
Yeah, fuck, but that's what happens right now, like, okay,
bitches.
Don't get me wrong again, I know PC is really important, but it's a game, it should be fun, don't overthink it too much, don't think too much about what you're talking, blah blah blah. But people do, there are these other podcasts.
We won't name any by name. Don't name any by name, Flo. We're not allowed. I'll have to edit it out.
It's something about halflings.
No shit talking.
Okay,
no shit talking.
Okay, sorry. Okay. But I could. But I don't. So,
don't.
Yeah, I don't. But I think so that
we're hateable enough already.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have to.
No, I don't.
The hate.
I will not. But I think the seriousness comes back. And I don't think it's in a good way.
No, seriousness is not good.
Yeah,
a game.
Yeah,
games are fun.
Yeah, for sure, and that's it. It should be fun, should be silly, should be like just laughing your ass off. Like fuck off. And just talking shit with friends. And okay, depends on what's your friends. I mean, you should be chill in your group and blah, blah, blah. And I think our groups are different than other groups for sure. So,
Because we're old as fuck, dude.
Huh?
We're old as fuck. We play 2E, man.
Yeah.
Like, of course our group
Cheers,
is different.
dude.
Here's our second beer.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Third episode, second beer, second edition. Yeah.
Word.
Cool.
Oh, dude. I can seg into something here because I'm gonna try and counter what you just did. Instead of talking shit about other podcasts, I'm gonna like give a little shout out to a podcast I love.
Okay.
Dude, I've been for me, man. The whole era of D&D, in Second E, growing up with it. It is part and parcel. It is synonymous with X-Men for me, dude. I just love X-Men comics. And I have fallen into a fucking nostalgia hole lately, homie. I actually did some research about the word nostalgia and what it is.
Okay.
It was first coined by like a dude in Switzerland in the 1700s who was describing mental conditions, mental illnesses and shit. And it's actually synonymous with the word homesickness or Heimweh in German.
Ah, okay.
And it used to be seen as like this negative affliction.
Yeah.
But now it's like people are just cranking out. There's like a nostalgia market because the world is such a giant pile of shit right now that like people our age are like needing that comfortable childhood headspace.
They
you know?
want to go back to this time.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure.
like, oh
Yeah,
my
for
God,
sure.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, the world is about to fucking end from the climate change and shit. Like,
Yeah,
please take me
can
back
be.
to the world
Yeah.
of X-Men and D&D
I
when I was
just
a
want
teenager.
to space out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So I love this podcast called X Reads. It's by these two pretty flamboyantly gay dudes, and it's kind of part of their shtick. And they like read X-Men
What's the name?
comics. It's X Reads podcast, dude.
Okay, X-Reads
And
podcast.
so
Nice.
I was a little bit inspired about our topic with D&D and other media. What these dudes do, they like
Lovely greets to these dudes. I don't know them.
yeah, we'll give a little shout out maybe on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then they read the ads. They actually have the old comics themselves, so they'll look at the ads and they do an ad alert segment. And they did one, I think, unless this is a false memory, just because I love D&D so much. I think they did one where they read a D&D ad, and I was like, that's kind of like why, you know, I mentioned on the podcast number 1 how HeroQuest is what drew me into D&D, but these D&D ads in the comics are kind of what like got me into D&D. And
do you have an explanation? Like, do you have a quote or so?
I just brought some fucking comics, homie.
Mutants.
I brought the New Mutants comics and Cable with me, homie.
Sweet. I love Cable
I brought
so
my
much.
X-Men
You
related
put
comics.
out really cool comics now. I want to
Yeah.
touch them. Give it to
Okay,
me.
first let me show you an example though. Like,
Nice.
first off, we have in this the Cable comic.
Yeah.
There's like an ad for. Look at this. First Quest.
Ah, yeah, there's
new
always
from
like this
TSR.
Werbung.
And it's
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
advertisement for
Yeah.
a CD.
Oh, so sweet.
What is this? It's a CD. Adventure with a twist and a turn, plus a couple of leaps forward. Put another way, a new experience unlike you've ever heard before. Turn up the decibels, crank up the adventure. First Quest, the new interactive audio CD adventure
Nice.
game.
Yeah, I remember all these
You know,
ads,
look at that.
It's so
Check it
cool.
out.
It's so funny.
It's
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I
And there's
know
all
that.
these like D&D ads in the comics that you'd read.
Here is this little collage of things, in the on this paper, on this picture. Jake has to make pictures of the picture.
I will
yeah,
throw this all on Instagram.
super good.
And then look on the back of this. I got that one's Cable number 12.
Okay.
Who's the artist on this? I don't know. Whatever. It's probably relevant to this conversation.
Yeah.
Look, but look, I also have the New Mutants annual.
Oh, there was AD&D in the back. I see it already.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
dude, it's
yeah.
AD&D. I
It's
think this is.
here with a red dragon in the back, and then on top stands "It's here," and then Dungeons and Dragons from TSR, and I can't read it. What's in the
There's
bottom?
some text.
And there's some text, and there is this cover art. This red dragon comes in front, and then there stands this fighter with this big hellebarde and fights against this red dragon. And yeah, it's just an announcement to D&D. On the back of a comic, like on the cover,
Yeah.
kind of, on the back cover.
And
wow.
at this
Yeah.
time, I was reading the shit out of
And
these
it's from the
X-Men
90s,
comics.
I think. Huh? Yeah, it's a
And,
90s comic, huh?
Like, so D&D was like kind of very heavily advertised, and so in terms of D&D and other media,
Of course,
like,
it must be in 90s because why not? Why?
oh, it's either late 80s or early, I don't know
Yeah.
exactly. 1991. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Is that the year Nevermind came out? Yeah. So like this is New Mutants, and I was just reading the shit out of all this shit, and I love that the imagery of D&D just kind of in the comics at this time,
Yeah. I remember that also. Like all this Werbung in comics and on comics, but I didn't remember before we recorded this podcast. So thanks for getting back these memories. So it's so nice.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was also primed to talk about D&D and other media comics. There was a lot of D&D comics themselves, but I never really read them. I read ElfQuest, which is very D&D.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's so comic-like. It's not like the X-Men comics, so it's more like, it looks like a childhood comic a little bit, ElfQuest. And
it's a little bit totally.
It's so sweet, so sweet painted. So,
but
nice.
I think maybe it's time for a break. But here's the thing: before we take our break, I want to answer your question.
Yes.
About what's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Okay.
In D&D.
Oh wow!
You like it?
Oh, exciting!
I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna press the pause button.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're gonna take the break.
Yes.
And then we will discuss it when we return.
Oh yeah, that sounds good to me. Okay.
So my favorite thing is the fucking heavy metal movie from 1981.
Okay, now stick to your genitals.
Okay.
Oh, what was it? Oh,
what do I say?
Yeah,
I want to say a different thing each time.
Okay.
Hang on to your something, but this week I've chosen hang on to your taint. We'll be right back.
Goodbye.
And we're back. Yeah. Okay, cool. I pressed the button correctly.
Yoo-hoo.
I was not sure for a minute. It's did I fuck this up? Did I just delete everything? I don't know. I don't understand computers.
Okay, we start with the second half. Maybe there's no one in the first half. We don't know. We will see.
Welcome.
Welcome to the second
podcast.
half. Oh yeah, AD&D 2E podcast.
Yeah, there's a quote from Weezer and I don't know.
And some talking about things. As we do.
So I didn't have to pee, which was the first time since we've been doing this podcast and had a break that I didn't have to pee. Flo did though.
Yeah, and I didn't had also, but I just took the minute.
Might as well take advantage. So, now I'm gonna have to pee while we're recording, and that's my bad.
Just.
I will just go.
Just go. Just let it flow. Everything's fine. It's a warm shower. It's okay.
What is this, Berghain? So I got. I was looking at the comics while you were peeing, though, dude. These are badass comics. I did. The New Mutants one is Fabian. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Fabian Nicieza. He's a badass.
I don't know.
X-Men author. Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really cool, dude.
Dude, what's your? After a break, we always make this little thing we wanted to make.
The word.
The word.
Yeah. So,
what's the word? Give me the word.
Before we speak about the ramifications of the heavy metal movie.
Oh yeah.
I would like to speak about what we do after our break, which is a German word of D&D.
Yeah.
And I thought that really it relates to Drizzt, as I mentioned. It's a little Drizzt related word. Tell me in German, here's some Drizzt trivia for you. What kind of weapons do Drizzt use?
Ah, nice.
What is
you mean the scimitars? Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
No, what is the word scimitar auf Deutsch?
I know what you mean, but you mean the scimitar auf Deutsch.
The scimitars, yeah.
Scimitar. That's what you want to hear
Tell
now?
me scimitar.
It's ein Krummsäbel.
Krummsäbel.
Nice.
That's a German
nice
word, dude.
I love it.
Krummsäbel.
Yeah, nice.
Fist bump.
Yeah. Drizzt uses 2 Krummsäbel. 2 Krummsäbel. Yes. Krummsäbel is the word for scimitar. Nice.
Yeah, scimitar is one of those curved swords. Yeah. And I think it's so funny because Krummsäbel... so much German words, dude. They're very literal,
Yeah, they make sense.
Yeah, they make sense, and
it's curved. It's krumm.
Yeah, they're very logical and have no imagination.
No,
it makes pure sense.
It's no fun. It's just mathematics. It's just science. It's just straight.
It means like krumm means crooked, right? Crooked.
Yeah, crooked.
Yeah, crooked, and sable is saber. So a scimitar is a crooked saber. It's a Krummsäbel.
Yeah, that's what you see there. When you pull it out, it's a krumm. It's like a krumm, like a crooked sword. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what you see there.
There's our word of the day.
Nice. And I thought it's maybe Underdark or something else, but it's scimitar, it's Krummsäbel. I love it.
So you can use the D&D vocab if you're if American tourist in Germany, you can say, Entschuldigung, haben Sie einen Krummsäbel?
For what?
Murder! Ja, hier ist deinen Krummsäbel.
Kein Problem. Gerne doch. Yeah, nice. I love it.
Yeah, word,
okay,
dude.
heavy metal is your favorite thing, man.
Dude,
you topped me again. Oh, I love it.
Well, dude, it's just
It's always a competition between us.
Yeah, we're very competitive people, clearly.
Yeah. That's why I play Warhammer 40k not anymore.
Yeah, it's why I'm a basketball star.
Oh yeah.
So Leo,
I love baseball.
I love heavy metal because in this era when I was like reading X-Men, playing D&D, exploring the world and weed. I also loved I loved this movie.
Did you hear that?
It's
what he said.
Don't everyone heard it.
Weed.
The cannabis, I love it. Dude, but like it's kind of all this the punk rock, the comics, the D&D, the cannabis, it's all sort of this culture of
all together
teenagerdom in the 90s, you know. And
hot chicks.
No, there was none of that. Did you have some hot chicks? I had none. We had none. There was none.
On heavy metal fake too. I mean, on heavy metal.
Oh, you mean in the movie? I thought you meant like real life.
Not in real life.
No, not in real
Not in real life.
No.
What are you talking about?
We
are here at D&D talking. It's not real life.
That's why
we are just talking about fantasy, dude.
That's why we watched heavy metal for the hot chicks. We didn't have any in real life.
Yeah. I love the South Park episode with heavy metal.
Yeah, the South Park. That's what I mean.
It's so
that's
good.
What I mean. It weighed its way into other media. The South, like the heavy metal movie, was so influential that like South Park had the whole thing, the whole episode about it, man.
Episode about it,
and also making fun of that. Yeah, that like. You do drugs and then you fantasize about hot chicks and
with sweet titties.
and the cat piss, dude. I love it. In that South Park episode, the guy have the cat piss. It's like a metaphor.
So yeah, it's so good. Yeah,
here's some signs your kids might be cheesing.
I loved it. It's so funny.
Yeah, dude.
So ridiculous.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, so good.
If you guys haven't seen the episode, you gotta fucking watch it, bitches.
Yeah, totally. And also watch heavy metal. So
actually don't watch that South Park episode.
Watch heavy metal at first.
Watch heavy metal,
or maybe watch South Park and then watch heavy metal. It's also funny.
No,
I
won't
think,
get the jokes.
Yeah, I don't get the jokes, but then you realize it after. Whatever. No, watch heavy metal. It's cool.
Dude, heavy metal movie. It was like really cool. And it was like I actually after I watched the movie when I got a little older, I started having a subscription. Actually, I met this old dude who played D&D, and by old dude I mean somebody probably younger than we are now.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's like, yeah, dude, I had a subscription to Heavy Metal magazine for like 5 years, my homie. Nice. I was like, that sounds awesome. I want to be like this guy, and I fucking got myself a subscription, and I collected heavy metal, dude. I still have some of the old issues, man.
Nice.
Like, yeah, and I loved the magazine, and there was so much cool, badass comic art that was this fantasy sci-fi shit.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you watched heavy metal movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And we also watched the South Park episode
and
afterwards.
that was kind of the first time that I really watched it, because when I was younger, I was not so into. All my friends were. I was not a cool kid.
Well, me either.
I just
we played D&D in the 90s, dude.
Yeah, but I didn't really realize how cool heavy metal, for example, is. Mm-hmm. So and then I read the Spawn comics and blah blah. I come slowly into it with 16, 17, blah, blah, and then I watched it a little bit, but I didn't really got the jokes in it, I was too stupid for that, I think. But now I love it,
Dude, you're too stupid for the jokes in heavy metal. That's like the stupidest fucking
I don't know. I was too intelligent to get the stupid
yeah.
points. I don't know.
If you're too stupid to get the jokes in a heavy metal movie, you're like a vegetable.
Maybe.
Just like fucking, your brain is just oozing out of your ears.
Maybe,
like, I don't understand.
Maybe I don't got it because I was too PC in these times. I don't know. I whatever. So I love it. It's so good.
Well, what's funny is that when me and you watched it together, that there was something I learned from you about it that I didn't know.
Okay, what was
Which was that when we lived together in the apartment, you the bathroom. Part of what I loved about it, what I used to call the bathroom, the art museum, because Flo had taken apart all these comics and put them all over the wall. So the wall was just a giant collage of comics.
Comics, but
you destroyed the shit out of some comics.
No,
you're one crazy guy.
Most of them I copied or printed out, but some of them are originals.
But you had the Hellboy poster.
Yes.
And you love Hellboy.
Yes.
It's like your favorite. Is it your favorite comic, Hellboy?
Next to Spawn.
Okay, so
and
second favorite, third favorite?
Second favorite.
Okay, so
So
it's
Spawn, Hellboy, the Goon.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
Transmetropolitan maybe also, but whatever.
That's not good. I don't even know what that is.
Transmetropolitan, you don't know Spider Jerusalem? You don't know Spider Jerusalem?
No,
what the fuck?
Sounds very obscure.
Yeah, it's totally obscure, sci-fi, political. It's a really political comic, but really, really
I don't
fucked up.
doubt that it's cool.
Yeah, but
Just haven't
fuck
heard
you,
of
you
it.
don't know it. It's a 90s thing. It's also a 90s thing from, I forgot, whatever, Robinson, blah, 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 guy.
The point is, dude,
yeah.
Richard Corbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, the Hellboy.
Of course. Yeah.
He did work in Heavy Metal Magazine.
True. Yeah, the artist.
And when we were watching the movie, you identified his art style. You're like, dude, I think this is like
Richard
the guy
Corbin.
who did the Hellboy.
Who did some issues of Hellboy, because the main artist and the whole author about Hellboy is Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola had the idea for Hellboy and painted him like, I don't know, like 10 books or so, like over 100 issues he painted. And sometimes he had like guest artists, and one of the guest artists is what was his name from Heavy Metal?
I don't know, dude.
What you said?
Richard Corbin.
Richard Corbin.
Okay, oh shit. I'm like,
my brain. Richard Corbin. You know, so yeah.
yeah.
He was one guest artist. So he was a guest artist. He was not the main artist for Hellboy, but he was a guest artist, and he was an artist in Heavy Metal.
It was just funny that you watched the movie and you identified his art style.
Yeah. I saw it
cool
and was
fuck.
like, "What is it, Richard Corbin?" I searched for it, and yeah, it was Richard Corbin. It's
And so
cool.
It really ties together. I mean, the whole, again, the D&D, the comic books, but. To get to this idea that I was talking about, man, I didn't even get to talk about the novels, but we're going to wrap it up pretty soon here because we're trying not to make as long a podcast last week.
Last month, you mean?
Last month, yeah.
Yeah, we record 2 weeks ago.
Got crazy with it.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be 2 hours every week.
Yeah. It's by the way, it's the 4th of August right now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's 4th of August.
Yeah.
If the world ends by the time this launches, then
goodbye.
You'll hear it. Yeah, I don't know.
Happy end.
I don't know. Fuck you for destroying the world. You're a human being, and it's your fault. So.
And also ours. Cheers.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Okay, but
we're all responsible.
Yeah. We have 7 minutes left. Come on. Or 10. Or
I don't
15.
know. Dude.
I don't know.
You don't have to be strict about it. Look, I was just talking
I'm
about.
German, I'm strict.
In relation to the Drizzt books, dude.
Yeah.
I just love the books. I love that they made they made all these campaign worlds for second edition, and also earlier, and they kind of made books to try and sell the game, you know.
Yes.
And so they had like, I kind of wanted to go more in depth about the books, but it's like that could be a whole thing.
Me too. Like the Elminster books, like the Ravenloft books.
The Raven. I just read Vampire of the Mists.
Yeah, nice.
And it is awesome.
Yeah.
It is stupid. It's trash. It's fun. Christy Golden is badass author, and it's NPC as fuck, dude. It is full on 90s trash badass shit. I love it.
The Dragonlance books, you know,
the
the other campaign world, the Dragonlance. So it's a whole saga of adventurers, of heroes.
I also just read Dragons of Winter Night.
Yeah, nice.
That's my most. I just finished that like last week.
And then there's also this. I don't know if that's the real name in English, but in German it's Das Lied von Denier. It's the Song of Denier. It's like 6 books. It's about a priest of the god Denier. It's so nice. It's just a beautiful.
Which campaign world?
It's also Forgotten Realms.
Oh, okay, cool, man.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Well, the Dragonlance ones, dude. You know, the Dragons of Autumn Twilight, the first book. You know, some badass lore on this book.
Yeah.
I found out that fucking Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, the authors, they were going to a fucking a job interview for TSR, and they played a game together, like when they were getting the interview.
Okay.
And then they met there.
Nice.
And then they hooked up and they got the job.
What a
and they
nice job interview, you know?
Yeah,
so
dude, it's like I feel like it's like a nerd fantasy of like, imagine if it's a nerd fantasy to like say, I'm going to get a job where I'm creating D&D, and then I meet somebody who I eventually fall in love with, and then we make our own campaign world and stories about this campaign world, and we co-author books about it.
Kind of like, at Futurama at the end of this one episode where Gary Gygax and Stephen Hawkins and blah 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 stuck in the void.
Totally at the end.
And everything is white around
they're in the
them,
white void,
and we have to play D&D for the rest of our eternity life. You know? So it's so nice. Oh, that's a fantasy I love.
It's like that sounds great.
And I also
we want to play it for the rest of our lives.
I also introduced it to my coworkers, to my work. I work as a social worker, blah blah, to my team, or to the team where I work in, because we have an end of September or middle of September like team days. But I don't know if I really go there because I switched a team. But I invited them to play D&D with me. So
cool.
to make that as a team thing event, because it is a team event.
It is, yeah, man.
So it's so cool.
D&D is good for that.
So, and I thought like maybe D&D or make a mixture of D&D and the other system, but whatever. So yeah, super cool. This Tracy and
this
blah blah blah.
They had a cartoon movie about it. Did you know that? They made Dragons in 2008, I think. Okay. They had Dragons of Autumn Twilight made into an animated cartoon.
Really?
And it had Lucy Lawless, who plays Xena,
nice
warrior princess, as the voice of, I think, Lorana. I forget if it's Lorana or Goldmoon. But like...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude. So that's badass as fuck,
Really? I didn't know that. Nice.
So...
I learned something today, too.
Yeah, there's all this, these relationships between the things that D&D is influenced with actors and story, but the ultimate kind of point is that I think that also as D&D kind of lightened up as it got a little more silly and basically the movies and the other media. When you read Dragons of Autumn Twilight, when you read these books, they're kind of serious, you know?
Yes, for sure.
They're
like Todd Stewart also.
They're not like postmodern self-aware things where they're trying to be trashy to be trashy. They're kind of like the authors just were writing a serious book, and then we love them because they're like B movie books.
Be real from the 90s,
Yeah,
and you use words from the 90s and blah blah blah. So yeah, for sure.
But then D&D also used to be in the 80s and 90s. It was like this shameful nerd thing.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you 3 examples of how it was this thing where it was, if you played it, it was something to be dogged on. Example 1, The Simpsons, yeah? And so The Simpsons, there's this episode where Homer goes to college, and he goes, we played Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours, and then my character was slain by an elf. And Bart goes, face it, Dad, you're hanging with nerds, And
I don't know this episode.
Yeah, so there's example 1.
Episode?
Example 2.
That's a shame.
Saturday Night Live.
I don't know that.
That's a very American.
Yeah.
People in Europe don't know Saturday Night Live, so it's a very U.S. specific show. But it was like this live comedy on Saturday night, and there was like this thing where it goes like I forget the exact skit, but this guy was trying to make fun of. They were making fun of D&D, and he goes, he was a president of the Dungeons and Dragons Club. And it showed this guy holding the Monster Manual, and it actually had the D&D Monster Manual, and I thought it was so funny. I'm like, I love the Monster Manual. It's so awesome.
Yeah, but they make just jokes about it.
But they were like, how he's a nerd and a piece of shit. Yeah. Then there's the movie Airheads, And this is with Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay.
It's about some guys who start a rock band, and
they
try and get their...
I don't know the German name for this movie.
Yeah, do you know the one?
Yeah, I think I know that. I don't know if I watched it, but yeah.
Yeah, they try and get their album. It's about a bunch of dopey airhead dudes in a band, a rock band. They try and get their album on the radio because, again, this is the 90s. They didn't have the TikTok, so they have to get to a radio station and get their tape. There's a tape. They have to get their special tape. Mixtape. Yeah, they get their tape on the radio.
Yeah.
And there's this part where, like, they're trying to expose the lead singer of the cool rock band and show that he's a piece of shit nerd guy.
Yeah.
And they're like... And he's like, he played Dungeons and Dragons. And everyone's like, boo.
Was it also a 90s movie?
Yeah, it was a 90s movie. It was like 94 or so.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then they're like...
Adam Sandler really young there.
At the end, but then this guy goes, hey, man, I played D&D too. And they start to like side with him, Nice. They start to side with the main character, the crowd that are attacking the guy because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy goes, hey, man, I used to play D&D too. And like, so it's kind of like this admittance that, I also did a shameful, nerdy bullshit thing that should be socially ostracized.
Yeah.
But now,
no,
it's not like that at all. It's not like that at all.
Crazy new movie.
No.
So many YouTube channels who has D&D involved. Like it's so crazy. It's such. To be a nerd, it's cool. I mean, it starts all with these movies, all the Marvel movies, all the DC movies. Then it was like a social common thing to be a nerd, Then with Big Bang Theory, blah blah blah. It was cool to read comics, to be a nerd, to be like a whatever, like a weird guy. So and then comes Stranger Things, And the first episode of Stranger Things, the kids play D&D there. So it was like, whoa, it's so cool to play that play D&D there, and all the monsters are named after monsters from D&D, like the Demogorgon or the Mind Flayer.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So and so on and so on. So it's just a cool thing to do it, So and when I speak to my coworkers who are not playing D&D and who maybe don't know what RPGs are, they ask me about and they think like, "Wow, that's so cool. That sounds so fun." And yeah, that's what it is. But in the 90s, you are just a fucking nerd. You are just a loser. So not a cool guy, and maybe a satanic boy or whatever.
Yeah, maybe a satanic boy. You dirty satanic boy.
Give me your satanic voice.
But dude,
you're a dirty satanic motherfucker.
You deserve to be beaten.
Yeah,
dude.
No
but
one
like,
likes you.
You deserve to suck on Satan's
You
cock.
will never have sex. Only with Satan.
You'll never feel the sweet, sweet titties, except for the titties of Baphomet.
Nice.
Yeah, but Stranger Things was like the breaking point. I really think that when that show,
D&D,
like that was when that was when it really just became like everyone was kind of like, you know what, man.
Everybody
this is fun.
This
is fucking fun.
Yeah.
But here's the ultimate conclusion of my fucking hypothesis is that as D&D became lighter and more fun in other media, from it started out with like Conan the Barbarian and fucking Dragonlance novel, where it's like and Lord of the Rings, where it's like very serious, and then it kind of, when people were playing the game, and then in media, it started to reflect the way people played the game in a lighthearted way with Xena and Army of Darkness and everything. Then eventually, like, our society kind of changed, and people stopped being such macho pieces of goddamn human garbage.
Yes.
Like this idea that like I'm cool because I'm an aggressive person who is trying to be dominating of other people and a misogynist and a real piece of shit,
dominating women. Like whatever.
All this ideas of like what cool is, what it is to be a man, what it is to be like a cool man.
You have to do sport.
Yeah, you must make sport or you will die. So like that started changing, and I think D&D was a driving vehicle in that, because people were like, dude, like, it's just a bunch of people hanging out and having fun and using your imagination.
Playing a game. Fuck it. Everybody wants to play games, and everybody play games since ever, like, so it's just a fucking game, and it's a brilliant game because it's not just cards or dice. Don't get me wrong, I love dice and card games.
Oh, I didn't even mention Spellfire Magic the Gathering, but that's a whole other thing.
Nice. But so people play a game together, and it's a cooperation game, so with friends together, no one can really lose. Only hit points, and maybe you can die.
Dignity.
Yeah.
I've lost my dignity at a D&D table before in real life. But that was, on me.
So it's so creative. It's just an art form, I think, To play D&D, to create a character, to create a world, maybe, as a DM.
Well, it's to use your imagination, dude. Like, computers also started to become very important for people's day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And when that started happening, like, the idea that you were a computer nerd stopped being like this ostracizing thing.
People make millions
but
of computer
it was like
stuff,
the same way you need your car mechanic in the 20th century. Now you need your computer mechanic, as me and you have experienced with this podcast. So thanks, Roy.
Thanks,
Roy
Michael. And Michael.
We love you.
And also Mikael for
thank you, Mikael,
on Spotify.
Yeah, oh man, everybody.
Everybody
that knows the computers, not us.
You know how microphones work.
I kind of understanding that better.
That's good.
But that's the thing, dude. Like D&D became popular in our era within the last like 8 years.
Yeah.
I think because
kind of,
society has gotten more lightened up, and that people have like started to just change in a way that is better and more beneficial.
Yeah.
And
they realize maybe it's just fun, to hang around with friends and play in a fantasy world because our real world is shitty.
Well, to use your imagination, dude.
Yeah.
To use your imagination and go to
have cinema in your mind.
To have this space where you get to just hang around with your buddies and fucking make some jokes.
And it's so fucking open, all these worlds, you can do everything what you want. So you can, in your campaign, we play this sci-fi D&D thing, kind of, So like
it's very heavy metal in case.
So it's so funny.
Very heavy metal based
but
game.
You can make it also really completely medieval or whatever. Yeah, people, what we're talking about. I think we have to. No, we can talk about a little bit longer. I don't know. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes.
I have like a million things to say, dude.
Me too.
I feel like that was a pretty conclusive point, though. That's kind of what I want to say. Is like. Yeah. That I really my whole thing about the D&D and media is that like the media kind of has changed to be more lighthearted. Yeah. I really think that, and I think that's because society also, people have become a little more lighthearted. In terms of what's okay to do and
what's cool.
Yeah, what's cool instead of like in the 90s when it was beating the shit up. I want to bring for playing D&D.
I want to bring up one song. It's from Blink 182. The song where I thought that they sing about AD&D. Do you remember that?
Dude, that was.
That was not AD&D.
It's not it's ADAD.
Wow. Yeah. Sorry.
What we have.
Yeah. I know, but I didn't know that in English it's ADD. Because,
ADD, right? ADD.
Yeah, because in German it's
ADHD.
Yeah.
Well, they changed that in English too. They need to add another letter to make it more complicated and less accessible.
Yeah. But I put that song on our list, I think, because I love it. Because it was also in the time when I played D&D and I was young,
Yeah. So you thought that when in this Blink 182 song, "What's My Age Again," when they said ADD, you thought that they meant Advanced Dungeons and Dragons,
yes.
But it really stands for Attention Deficit Disorder,
yes.
And you didn't know that, and that's pretty funny.
Yes. Stupid as I am.
Whatever,
sometimes.
Dude.
So yeah, cool.
It's English.
Yeah, it's
like
English.
You speak English really. Yeah, don't. It's whatever. You speak English really well, so the fact you know the abbreviation.
We put that song on our list. It's not my favorite song, but in these times, it was kind of my favorite songs. Is in the beginning of the 2000s, but it counts like the 90s, so everything's fine. So we
it's the 90s, isn't it? That's
was it 1999?
I think it was 99, dude.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, true. Maybe it's 1999
or
2000, whatever, or 2001, whatever. Yeah, we have so many other things on our list also to talk about, and I know that, for example, Caro, our friend, loves that we talk longer also, like 1 hour, but I think 1 hour, it's okay. We talk about Drizzt. I mentioned Elminster, Song of Denier, Dragonlance, Drizzt Do'Urden again in comics, and we talk about X-Men, Conan, we talk about Maze and Monsters, we talk about D&D 2000, we talk about heavy metal and Xena and Hercules, we talk about a little bit Baldur's Gate, like.
I think video games and music is like a whole other.
Yeah.
We can do another podcast on that
for sure, and we talk about Futurama and Simpsons and blah blah. So
everything on my list that we didn't discuss, kind of was just side topics that don't really have to necessarily do with my narrative. But like, I love. Okay, shout outs to fucking Dark Sun, dude. I used to read the Dark Sun novels.
Yeah.
I read like a lot of books. When I was a kid, the Dark Sun novels were by Troy Denning. Mm-hmm. He like kind of made the Dark Sun.
I never read Dark Sun novels.
I love Dark Sun, dude. I love it.
I love the idea of the world, like this. What is that? Apocalyptic. And,
the apocalypse, dude.
Apocalypse world and deserts and blah blah blah. So crazy.
What's cool is so Troy Denning. When I read the novels, he had a lot of he wrote action sequences really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he also was really good.
As also R.A. Salvatore do, I think.
R.A. Salvatore, yeah, but he does like R.A. Salvatore with the Drizzt guy.
Yeah, Drizzt guy.
He does like good sword fighting. He really knows his sword fighting lingo and writes really good sword fighting scenes.
Yeah.
But Troy Denning, who wrote Dark Sun, does fucking badass martial arts scenes.
Ah, nice.
And
okay.
After I read a couple of the books, I read his bio in the back, and it said he practices martial arts himself.
Of course, he is a kung fu fighter or whatever.
I just checked his wiki, and it's got he practiced Kyuki-do, a form of Taekwondo incorporating judo, boxing, and Hapkido. So that's badass. I love that people. Yeah. When an author like has another interest or a hobby, and then you can really see that in their writing, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's in the Dark Sun
into the stories, so nice.
And then the psionics of Dark Sun world, you know, that's so badass. That was the main books I read though when I was a kid. All the other books I read kind of later, including Drizman. The only D&D books I read as a kid was Dark Sun.
Oh, really?
But I did also read, I fucking loved The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I read The Scions of Shannara, actually. It was like this quadrilogy, a four-part series. Yeah. And it was badass, dude.
Okay.
And I wrote... I remember the first episode I mentioned I wrote a letter. I got a letter from TSR, a threatening letter.
I wanted to ask you if you know what TSR means. You know, this TSR for what it stands, because I read it today, but I forgot. It's you know that?
Troglodyte sucking radicals.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it is. Cool.
I don't know, dude.
Me neither.
I don't know what TSR stands for.
Yeah.
Treasure Sundered Runta. So I think that I don't know what it means.
I don't know.
But look,
Tote Schlangen räuspern sich. I don't know.
The other books that I used to read when I was a kid was Piers Anthony, and Piers Anthony was a guy who had these comedy. He was like Terry Pratchett, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I never read Terry Pratchett till later. I just read my first Terry Pratchett book a couple years ago.
We never talked about Terry Pratchett today, but
Terry Pratchett is
so important also,
really,
you know? And also like in the silly way.
Yeah.
So I never really read Terry Pratchett. It's a shame, but I had to, you know, like this flat Earth thing, you know.
Yeah. Well,
so
the turtle
ship.
Yeah.
The turtle ship.
I think you would love because you love turtles like your power animal, man. Like you would love Terry Pratchett, but like Terry Pratchett, Piers Anthony, these guys were kind of like making the comedic fantasy shit, you know. That's what I'm talking about. Like these are guys who kind of like put that fantasy, that Tolkien shit, that Conan shit into a more of a funny context. Yeah. And
more heavy metal context kind of. So,
yeah, I think heavy metal even was like it was kind of like
it was an ice peak.
It wasn't even. It was heavy metal was kind of like self-aware, so it was tongue-in-cheek. But I think Terry Pratchett and Piers Anthony were even like one step further, where they were like, "This is just comedy, dude. It's not. This is no way intended to even be."
I mean, the movie Heavy Metal, not the comics. I mean, the movie Heavy Metal was also on that.
No, I think it was like I think the Heavy Metal movie was like intentionally. It was self-aware. Yeah. It was self-aware. Yeah. But it was postmodern in that way.
Yes.
But it wasn't like intentionally trying to be comedy. I mean, there's a difference between the heavy metal movie and the D&D movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
No, I think it was like it was trying to be over the top and kind of like cheesy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
not so funny as it is now.
It wasn't trying to have punchlines and stuff.
I see,
you know, like that's what I mean.
Yeah, I see.
It didn't have jokes. It had like shtick.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
That's kind of like the difference.
Yeah. You see it now and see that's so funny that they thought it's cool. So
oh, it's dudes with swords and chicks with big boobs
and tangas. Wow.
But Piers Anthony, you know, and Terry Pratchett, those guys are like,
just ironic.
Set up punchline,
it's
funny
ironic.
shit, yo,
it's sarcasm,
little
it's black humor and blah blah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Dude. I don't know. The one point I had was like music, and
we can't do music. We can't fit music in. We have to conclude this shit.
I think we have to. I think we have to stop it now. You know, like,
we'll do an episode on music though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also have like I don't know what kind of music I had to talk about, but it's mostly punk rock and ska music. But I don't know if it's related to D&D. I know that, like for example, Fat Mike or the NoFX people played D&D for sure also. And
wait, did NoFX like in the biography gave me Hepatitis Bathtub?
There's once it's
Melvin said he played it.
Yeah, Melvin did.
Yeah, of course, he's like the stoner.
Yeah, he is a stoner, and he's a nerd.
Melvin, you stoner.
Oh, I love you. We love you all. Yeah, cool. So it's 1:15 now, kind of. So with the intro. And
do you have anything on your list we didn't talk about? I have one more thing.
Let's see.
And I'll say nothing about it. I'll just mention it.
It's
for me, it's gargoyles, dude.
Wow, true. I don't have that on my. Oh fuck! I loved gargoyles when I was true. I don't remember that. Oh, why I forgot that. It's also one of the Saturday cartoons. In the morning. Oh, I love it.
For us, season 3 was Saturday mornings, but season 1 and 2 were the after school.
I don't know about the seasons. I just know gargoyles.
That's
and it's also like in our age and in our world. Like it was in the 90s. It played in the 90s.
Yeah,
but it was these. Yeah, gargoyles. Creatures. They are in daylight. Stone, and then become in the night begin to living and has wings and like humans with big with wings and big humans.
Yeah,
and such a cool.
What's your number one favorite comic again?
Spawn.
Did you know that the guy who voiced Goliath, who is the main character in the TV show Gargoyles, he was voiced by a voice actor named Keith David. And that voice actor also played Spawn in the Spawn animated series that came out in the 90s.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bam. Badass trivia right there.
Cheers. Danke für that.
Yo, how's that for showing my nerd knowledge, Felix?
Fuck yeah, Felix.
Felix said we should talk about our nerd knowledge more. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if he meant that, but...
I think he did.
If not...
Felix, tell us.
Fuck yeah.
Send us a message on Telegram.
Send me an email. Maybe I got
Send me an email. Send me a long email.
Send me an email to florian.storch.
Make it really long. Make it really long. Like many paragraphs about what you thought about what I just said.
Yeah. Nice.
I will take the time to read it, Felix, and address what you said.
I just put it to the spam. Switch.
Dude, Harsh, you're a bad friend. You're going to put your friend's email in the spam folder, honey?
No, of course. I love my spam folder.
Okay, I didn't know you actually read this. Okay. You're weird.
That's the only thing what I read.
Dude, Gargoyles, though?
Gargoyles.
Do you know they have a comic that just came out?
Yeah,
I saw that. Like the creators brought it back?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it.
Yeah.
But Gargoyles is like the most D&D cartoon of the 90s, dude. I mean, I grew up with the X-Men animated series, of course. That's what got me into the world of X-Men. It's my favorite.
Other ones, but I think it's really like Gargoyles. Could be, yeah. It's so cool. Which one is your favorite Gargoyle? I don't remember all of them.
Oh, that's a good question. Who's my favorite on the Gargoyles? I want to say...
the silly one?
I think Brooklyn, dude.
Who's the older one? He's
like kind of the leader of the team. When
he's the wise one.
No. That's Hudson, the old man.
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn is the kind of sub leader of the team when Goliath is gone. He's out of the young ones. There's like a trio of young guys. There's like the fat one is Broadway. The little tech guy is Lexington. But
nice,
Brooklyn is like the thing is Brooklyn. The art on him. I used to draw a lot too. And when I drew when I was into art in my art phase, kind of in high school, I drew a lot of like dragons and creatures that were really based off the art of Brooklyn. Don't apologize for burps.
Just for the not for the burps, for the break.
Oh, that's fine, dude. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, my point is I like Brooklyn. He's my favorite.
Brooklyn. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's a giant fucking beak.
Okay, this one.
Brooklyn got a big fucking beak.
Yeah, okay. I think my favorite one was like this other one, this old one.
Hudson.
I think.
Yeah, the Scottish accent guy.
I think I liked him. And of course the silly one. I always love the silly ones.
Dude, but you know what? Actually, you know who really my favorite was on that whole show? Fucking Demona, dude. She was badass.
Yeah.
Did you know? Okay,
yeah,
speaking of which,
her.
we are like not Star Trek people, but just to bring it back to that, like the cast of the voice actors in that were from Star Trek.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The lady like Xanatos was voiced by the guy who was on Star Trek, and Demona was also. Everybody who's listening to this who likes Star Trek is gonna like send me hate on the internet because
we got into a completely gargoyle episode now.
I know we gotta wrap this up, homie.
Yeah,
we said we wouldn't go longer than an hour. We're like hour 20.
That was the last thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that's it. That was all on my list. All my D&D and other media.
Yeah, I think
we did it all, dude.
Castlevania, you're not.
What?
Castlevania.
That's a video game.
Yeah, you don't talk about that.
Oh, dude, I think video games, music, and I feel like on this episode we were kind of doing like TV, movies, comics, and books.
And we had to talk about
next time we do media. We're gonna do like music.
Yeah, next time
video
we do media.
games.
We don't know when it is, but yeah.
I think 2025. Yo. So let's recap. Just shoot me your list. Tell me all the things you had to talk about in D&D and other media.
It was Drizzt. It was Elminster. It was Song from Denier. It was Dragonlance. I wanted to say by Drizzt Do'Urden there is these 3 schools in Menzoberranzan. I just want to mention the names of the 3 schools. It's one school is for priests, one is for sorcerers, and one is for fighters.
Oh yeah.
The one for fighters is Melee Mactere. I love it from because of melee, Melee Mactere.
Yeah, I understand.
You understand?
I'm not a moron.
So then,
I mean, I am, but I understand it even though I am.
For the priest is Arachtinilit. Arach because of the spider priest, Arach.
Oh yeah,
Arachtinilis. And for the for the wizard is sorceress or sorcerer. That's the name of the school. I just love this name. It's so easy and it's so cool. Yeah, okay, that's on my list.
What else you got on your list, homie?
Comics, Drizzt and X-Men. We talk about movies, Conan, Maze and Monsters, D&D 2000 movie. We don't talk about that.
Oh, Heavy Metal 2000.
No, D&D movies.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. The D&D 2000 movie. I'm glad we didn't talk about that.
Good.
Let us never speak of it again.
Skip it.
Never speak of it again.
Delete it.
Don't ever say that to me again.
D&D movies 2000.
Shut the fuck up. I hate it.
TV cartoons. We talk about. And that's it. The other ones are the games. And I also put not just computer games there, also Hero Quest and blah blah.
Oh yeah, we'll cover all that another next time. We'll do part 2 media and we'll talk about like Legend of Zelda, Castlevania, the Weezer song, whatever that we started this episode with.
It's not the next episode, but we.
I'm on my list. I'm on my list.
Okay,
you have a preview. Then we give a preview for next episode.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll down. Yeah. I had the books, Ravenloft books, Vampire the Mist by Christy Golden, Dark Sun by Troy Denning, Dragonlance by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. And the movie with Lucy Lawless, Drizzt by R.A. Salvatore. Did you know he had countless New York Times best-selling novels? That's also
that's true.
That's badass. Yeah, so like Drizzt was like New York Times bestseller material for more than one book. Yeah. Sword of Shannara by I never told the story about that, dude. Like one time.
Do we have the time for that?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Okay,
it's our podcast.
True.
We could just
we can do whatever we want.
6-hour podcast. Who gives a fuck? Everybody's gonna be like.
Yeah. Just listen. It's like a D&D game. Could be really long.
We'll do a footnote on there. Just do a little asterisk here.
8 hours
Sword
later.
of Shannara. 8 hours later.
I had to pee again, maybe.
Our teacher, our reading class teacher in Hillside Junior High in Boise, Idaho, had us write letters to our favorite authors, and I wrote a letter to Terry Brooks.
Okay.
And he wrote one back to me.
What?
Yeah, it was
Again,
badass.
you with your letters, dude.
You
got a letter from TSR. I mean, it was not.
I got a letter when I was like 14 years old. I got a letter from TSR threatening me, and a letter from Terry Brooks complimenting me.
Wow.
So I forget what it said exactly, but he was like, thank you for enjoying my books.
And the podcast is like a signature move for me already, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Cool. I have the burps, and you have the.
I have a stupid laugh. I go, it's a stupid laugh.
You have that?
I don't know. That's something I criticize about myself when I'm listening to a podcast.
Maybe I have that too. Whatever.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there, dude. I love the Shannara books, and I think it's so badass.
I don't know them.
Terry Brooks wrote me back. They had a TV show about it in the last. I think in 2010s, The Chronicles of Shannara. I think it was on MTV. It was like a really...
Don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of like for... I don't know. it was a little bit. It was like I don't know. I don't think it did justice.
Okay.
Whatever.
I don't know what you're talking
It was
about.
really.
So
It could have been better.
I have to search for that.
Yeah, that's. But the Shannara books, dude, they're badass.
Shannara books.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll discuss after the podcast. I will show you.
Okay, cool.
They're cool, and the author sent me a letter, and he's badass. And
But Shannara is-
also, you know what? In my fantasy world at D&D that I play, it's a
Don't talk about your old fantasy world.
We won't. I won't get into it. I'm just saying.
It's pervert.
It's it all takes place on a giant penis. No, it all takes place on a post-apocalyptic world.
Okay.
That's based on the real world.
Oh, nice.
And Terry
I
Brooks's
know
world,
that.
Terry Brooks's world is the same. And my wife, she's always so cool because she really calls out my shit on like my influences. And by my word for his influences, her word might be like ripping it off.
You stole it.
But like I'm like, yeah, you know,
Inspiring.
it's totally original, you know. And she's like, hey, isn't that like Terry Brooks though? Because like a future apocalyptic world where there's elves and shit and magic, isn't that what he did? I'm like, yeah.
Kind of impossible to create new things, you know, like
But here-
everything was already there anywhere, you know, like
Yeah, but there's no new ideas for sure. But
Yeah.
Terry Brooks, dude, his fantasy world was the Pacific Northwest, where I used to live, which is where I grew up, in the U.S., Washington and Oregon State, and Idaho to a lesser extent. So that's like where he set his post-apocalyptic world, dude. And he wrote me a letter. I didn't know that.
nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
I want to see the letters. I want to read them.
I wonder. I don't know if I kept it.
Why not? Ah, fuck.
Dude, are you kidding? Like when you're fucking 14, like
Yeah.
do you
I would be
understand the
like-
significance of anything?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, maybe my mom kept it. I don't know. But
Okay.
look, here's also
Come on with your list, dude.
list also ElfQuest.
Oh, yeah. But we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we threw it out there. We gave it
Yeah.
the shout out it
Yeah.
deserved.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Magazine.
Yeah, we did.
Card games, Magic, the Gathering, and Spellfire. I did say those words.
Felix loved Magic. The
I know.
Gathering.
Yeah, Felix. If you want to,
Felix teached. He taught me.
you have to have him on here sometime. We talk about it all the time.
Last week ago, he taught. He said to me that he taught a woman with her child Magic the Gathering on train
Rad.
because she wanted to teach her son. And Felix realized she made it wrong.
You're like, yo, don't teach the boy the wrong
and
thing.
he was like listening, and then like I don't know how the story really goes, but it was like, yeah, I teach them in the end how to play.
That's cool
Magic.
as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I said, hey, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I got Heavy Metal Movie,
Heavy
Richard
Metal Take
Corbin,
Two.
and Hellboy. Artist, I got Conan the Barbarian, Excalibur, Army of Darkness. The things I didn't mention that were kind of movies, which we don't have time for, but I will just throw it out there, is Princess Bride, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Aladdin and other Disney movies of the 90s.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Yeah, I think those are
nice.
all D&D influenced
totally.
stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, we don't have time now. We're out of time, but like, oh man, Princess Bride, one of the best movies. D&D cartoon for TV, Hercules and Xena, Gargoyles, and The Simpsons, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we make it really, really well through the lists. You know, more than I expected.
Yeah.
And a good mixed up. I was in the beginning like not so sure how that episode will went on, but it was cool. Again.
I'm surprised we survived.
And now comes a bomb. And then
Oh shit.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys to listen again. And you know what our last line is again?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
May you roll a natural 20.
Ahoy!
Hey, thanks for listening, guys.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. Much love to y'all. Stay tuned for episode 4. We're going to be talking about something.
Origins.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao.